Happy 2026, everybody. In this video, I want to share my whole experience art vending. And basically, I started art vending 2 years ago, but the first year wasn't really existent. I just vended at a few things. And during this journey, there were many lows. I had a mental breakdown. I did profit $5, and I nearly died. But there were also many highs. Oh my god, she's actually buying my whole booth. I wanted the plush. Yay! Jellyfish. They gave me fan art. Now first, I want to go back all the way to 2023, where I went to my first anime convention when I was like 19 years old, I think. I don't know the math. My lovely friend recommended this group activity for us, and that was to go to Colossal Con, which was a decent-sized anime convention that's actually hosted in a water park. We didn't go to the water park, but that's just interesting. Anyways, when I went, my friend was so excited about the Artist Alley, and I was like, what is the Artist Alley? That is so interesting. And then when I went in hindsight, it was a pretty small Artist Alley, but I was so amazed. It's like if a dog suddenly just saw all the colors that humans saw too. It was so crazy. I didn't know that people were out here drawing art and then having their little tables and selling it. That was the craziest thing, and my eyes were opened. That was when I decided that I could do something like that too. I'm setting up right now. Show. So fun. So, sometime after, I found just a little art craft fair type event during October, so it was Halloween themed, which is perfect for my art. I tried it with my friends, it was an easy commute, very easy. This was my first setup. Super basic. And the experience itself was one of the best, coolest things I've ever done, even though it was just a small craft fair. But all the artists there were so kind, and my neighbor was so kind, and we even did art trades. I didn't even know you could do that. That opened my eyes to art trading, and now I am an art trading addict. It's true. And I also made a decent amount of money. It was solid. All in all, it was a very nice first event. So then I continued investing, sinking more money into my Artist Alley display, and I continued vending at these small events, nothing crazy. Some were good, some were bad, and I started beating my records, event by event. It was slowly reaching new heights. Then, after around 7 events, I wanted to do something bigger because I kept seeing all these artists make so much money, and I was like, I can do that because I know I am capable of this power. And that was when C2E2 happened. C2E2 is a pretty big convention. They have over 100,000 attendees, according to the internet, and honestly my eyes. It is located in Atlanta, so it was out of state for me. And I never really traveled without my family, so this is kind of a whole new experience. But of course, I had to bring my friends. And at the con, I literally thought I would make $1 bajillion because I was delusional. But if you watched my vlog, I think you know that did not happen. I used a big chunk of my savings to go. And in hindsight, it wasn't a bad experience because I made back most of my expenses. But still, my expectations were way too high for my fugly looking booth. And after that fail, I realized that it was time to lock in. There's no time to play any more baby games, okay? And I decided I need to do more, I need to research more, and so many people gave me really great advice. So I made sure to use all of the advice from reputable artists, because some people gave me really random bad advice. And after that, my booth turned from this to this. And maybe you don't know the difference, really, but it did make a big difference. And basically my main problem was that I left most of my product on the table, so it wasn't eyesight level. I tried to display everything higher, and I got more inventory. Because obviously if you have more stuff to sell, then there's a chance that more people would want something. And at my next convention, MomoCon, the changes were noticeable in my wallet, because I did not lose all my money. Anyway, I continued trying more events, and again, not everyone was a success. And while I was doing well at the more reputable events, I encountered a problem. I didn't really want to be a fan artist, and probably the majority of my table at that point was fan art, or maybe around half. But one thing I noticed is that nobody really cared for my original art or my original character merch. Yeah, people didn't really touch my original stuff, not gonna lie. My whole life, I've drawn original things and I've made original characters, and I think my booth should reflect that. So I decided to investigate why people think my OC merch is straight up dookie dog water. And after looking into how I can change things, I designed new things and made more art. And what I realized that kind of changed the whole outlook of original art was that I needed to make each specific product captivating on its own, and it needed to have a distinct theme. I think I really enjoyed trying to settle for this kind of cutesy, dreamy, spooky vibe, and I decided to really lean into that with different motifs and things. Just things everywhere, okay? And I realized the change when I made these new products, because people started buying them more and they were more interested. And it even helped a little bit having the lore for my characters, because I was also working on my webcomic featuring my characters. Obviously, who else would it feature? Anyways. And some people were familiar with my characters, which was probably the coolest thing ever. TBH, the coolest thing ever. While I do love talking about my fandoms, because they are my fandoms, when people want to buy something with your character on it, it just hits different. Anyways, looking at my side income, I was working just a little bit as a busser. Guys, I'm bad at working, okay? I can't work that much. But I was a busser at the Forbidden Cheesecake Factory. But I decided I had enough. It was enough. And I quit, and I decided I wanted to fully pursue this because I know I can do this. So I also moved out of my parents' home because I wanted to really challenge myself and see if I could sustain myself just with my art business and my arting. Now, present day, I am here and I have like 17 events under my belt. I'm still looking to improve things. I have so many ideas to make more stuff for everyone to enjoy. It's only been a few months of living on my own, but I am happy to say I am not in crippling debt and I'm not going to get evicted or anything like that. So ending this video, I just want to say, art vending has been one of the greatest things ever. Not just monetarily, but it's something that I feel so passionate about and happy. Whenever I'm at a convention and I see just everyone, all the nerdy kids and even the old people, there's nerdy old people, okay? And they're around with their cosplays. It just makes me happy. So I feel so lucky that I had the opportunity to invest in all these materials in the beginning because that wasn't cheap. You know, I want to make it transparent that I used my savings that I was able to build up because I was living with my parents. But I didn't have bills. I didn't have bills, okay? I didn't have bills. And that is a privileged spot. But that being said, that doesn't mean if you are in a worse position that you can't try art vending. So yeah, I made a lot of friends and memories along the way. You know, it's all about the friends, the power of friendship, and nothing makes me more grateful than the fact that I could draw my silly characters for people to enjoy. So thank you. Thank you for watching this video. And thank you if you've ever consumed anything I've made. Yeah, that's it. Happy New Year's. Goodbye.